looking to renew efforts in state, really make a mark locally, and you extended that to Kansas City as well. 6 guys from Kansas, 2 from Kansas City. What was it about this class that allowed you guys to fare so well locally?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things in there. I appreciate you bringing that up right away. It is something that, you know, I think when you come into a situation or you talk about it, you say things that you hope that can happen, and you try to make things that I think sometimes, you know, taking over rebuilding programs sometimes, I've said this before, is when you walk into your backyard, so to speak, to try to talk, you end up talking so much, I've found out in the past, about what happened before you arrived, and you're always talking around that. So sometimes it's easier for coaches to go further out where you're not talking about those past blemishes. But I thought we stayed the course when we came here. We said we wanted to do that. We wanted to make sure that the area coaches knew that we were serious. And I think with the 2 bowl games, the commitment facilities, other things, the job that our staff has done, our recruiting staff, personnel staff, whatever we're referring to them, a lot of people come when the people can come back here multiple times. We get a lot of compliments about the thoroughness, the genuineness, the transparency in which we operate. And though we have a lot to continue to improve on, I think those that are really looking for those things along with development and opportunity, they found that this is a good place to be, and they can reach their goals right here at the University of Kansas.
And then a hyper-local guy you guys have wanted to get more athletic at linebacker. Josh Galbraith is maybe one of the most athletic players playing linebacker in the country. What does Josh bring to you guys?
Yeah, you know, extremely athletic guy. To keep another Lawrence High graduate, or soon-to-be graduate in town here is important to us. What a huge upside he has in athleticism and everything, and a guy that you know that we hope can come in here and make contributions for a long time. But Josh is, you know, and the more we got around him, the more he opened up, and that he's got a really great personality. His parents been awesome, very humble about how he goes about it, but had a chance to catch part of one of his games this year, and he plays the game with passion and enthusiasm, and I think Jayhawk fans will be excited about watching him play.
Last one, quarterback and Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
You guys offered right after the camp. What did you see from him in the camp and throughout watching him?
I think when you look at body type and other things about what we're you know, recruiting and evaluating in our program, he fit that mold. You know, much you know, like Jalen and Isaiah do for us, and Cole to an extent there. David's one with probably the more height and length in there, but a great arm, mobility that we can do in the RPO game. Can run the quarterback. Again, a guy that willing and wanting to be developed more. Great attitude, leadership, and excited to have him here.
You talked about facilities. What was the overall picture you got from them? Just seeing everything, and then maybe even the dining area that they see.
Yeah, when the guys started to see, you know, for some of this, the renderings, because a lot of these guys started their visits in the recruiting process out at Rock Chalk Park, or we're having meetings when I'm in a temporary pseudo meeting room type office area, and kind of watch things slowly come together, and as locker room, weight room were done first, and you know, that was eye-opening to have a nice. So then when everything else opened up, it was really neat to see their faces of where to, because most guys are visiting a lot of different schools across the country, at least regionally, and when they're able to see that, you know, we're building things and now have facilities that are on par or better than others, again, gives us a fighting chance.
Thank you.
Henry has to wait one more, doesn't he?
Out of protocol. This is the first signing class of tight ends you've brought in since Coach Lubick took over that position. Obviously you work on these guys for years at a time, but how did that pair come together, and I guess what kind of influence did he have in determining that?
Obviously, Jack and Kevin were both recruited when Coach Grimes was here. That process started. But, and again, anytime there's a change in position coach in the recruiting process, there's that pause of who's going to coach me, what's it going to be like, what's going to change. But Matt hit the ground running with that again and built relationships, had a chance to visit with those guys. Again, the benefit, of course, with many of the local guys is that you can get them here more frequently. They can observe more practices. They can sit in meetings. They get a better understanding of fit. And, Matt was able to do that. We feel blessed that, I don't know if originally if we were, were we going to take 2 right off the get? It all depended on the right guys, but we felt that Kevin and Jack were just too good athletes with so much upside on both sides, with especially that position. Here Jack is still playing. Kevin, we talked to him this morning, played a basketball game already last night, and their season just got over, got another one. When they get into a program with full year development and stuff and their bodies really change, you're gonna see 2 really good football players.
Last year you talked about early enrollees becoming a more popular thing, and here you've got one of the bigger early enrollee groups. How do those conversations kind of continue to progress with those guys, and what sort of benefits as you've had more of them?
Yeah.
Like, are there lessons you learn with those guys?
Yeah, as that continues, Michael, I say this, and I guess I kind of still partially from a parent standpoint, maybe my experience in years of some of that, I still put this, some people are pushing it and getting, you got to get in here, you got to get in here. And I still believe it's a family decision. They know their son. They know where he's at in maturity and moving away from home, and what he's going to be able to could he use 6 more months or whatever that would be. And so we kind of defer that way the best we can. But once they do say they're going to do it, we're excited about it. We like it. You see the growth. You get the extra time. January to May is a lot slower paced than the season of every day having to do something per se of practice and other things, where spring ball, we don't practice every day in a row. All those things, the weight room activity and time that they can get into that, the weight training program, but really working technique and other things, the nutritional benefit. We've talked about certain guys, Jalen, Todd, and others that made huge gains in a short period of time. All the cool benefits. So again, it's something that'll continue to happen. I'm sure in today's rev share and other things, there's other benefits of early enrolling that we can't be naive to, but as soon as we get them here and get them part of the program, as we said, some of these guys, it gives them a better chance to play right away next fall.
We saw you guys do different things with the defensive ends this past year. How do you feel like Drayden and Hunter fit kind of the versatility that you guys are asking those guys to have?
Again, you need guys that can be multifaceted, that can sometimes drop into coverage, and they're not asking a ton out of them that way. But again, be physical at the point of attack, do different things, be pass rushers. They all want to try to do everything. So it's kind of a thing to get them excited about, that they get a chance to be more of an outside linebacker type player sometimes. And again, we're going to need, as many of those type of bodies. Nice thing is, we feel both those guys have nice length and height that can help us out.
4 quarterbacks now going into next year with the 3 guys returning and Jalen. How do you feel about that room, and do you feel like a transfer quarterback is something you'll look at, or how do you feel about that room going into next year?
We feel good about the room. It's something, again, we think the guys that have played a little bit, that between Cole and Isaiah have shown flashes of opportunities to be successful and move our football team. I think what we do offensively, philosophically, fits those guys. We're excited about David McComb and what he brings to this program, and as he continues to develop. So you know, if that's answering it, we're happy with the room, and again, it's, you know, between development of what's here, and also, as we know, there'll be additions that'll arrive on campus as we continue to put this roster together here second semester.
Tate Nagy was able to find his way onto the field as a freshman. Is there anyone in this group, whatever role that might be, you see a similar sort of?
Yeah, I try not to get into that prediction game too much, Jordan. Is that, you know, just on Tate, I thought, you know, did an excellent job as far as handling the role of punt returner, and you know, not an easy task, let alone for a true freshman, but didn't get rattled. He's got great awareness and ball skills. You know, we sure hope there's going to be somebody that's going to do that, and who that is at this moment, there's nobody's targeted, but as we said, many of these early enrollees will get plenty of opportunities this spring to show what they can do.
Lance, when you kind of evaluate the next quarterback of Kansas, what are you looking at in the guys you have already, and what are you hoping they can bring to the table that maybe Jalen didn't do or as well, or whatever?
Yeah, you know what Jalen didn't do well. I think Jalen did a lot of good things for this program. I think, unfortunately, it didn't play out in game 12 the way we wanted to. So I think if you're looking at some of those things, obviously we got to be great securing the football. Okay, we weren't as a coaching staff and as an offense as productive in the red zone as we need to be. So you've heard me say this before, as you know, we need to be, you know, truly at our best when our best is needed, and that's when it comes down to conversions and scoring touchdowns and executing in a way that needs us to be there. That's not that, as we know, for some of the plays that maybe didn't go Jalen's way, we can think of some pretty exciting ones that he made along the way as well. So not to be overly comparative in that regard, but I'm looking, you know, this staff is for the quarterback that'll win this job, that is going to have great command of the offense and understand what we're trying to do, make great decisions, be able to make the throws that are needed within this offense, which is really all throws. We got to be able to get the ball down the field. We got to be great in the play action game. We got to have great decision making in the RPO game. We got to be able to, you know, but these guys have running abilities, and now everybody's going to think with Isaiah or Cole that we're just going to run the heck out of the quarterback and let them take 30 shots a game, and that's not really, that's not what we're made out to be or want to be. But we got to be able to run when we need to, especially against certain looks. But again, to be somebody that can create plays and be able to, you know, sometimes when you use the word manage the game, it's looked at as negatively, but we have to manage the game in this offense in a way that gives us the best chance to win football games.
It kind of go to that with a little bit. How do you find that balance of, with whoever the next quarterback is, of using the run game in the run game versus using the pass game?
Well, I think that, you know, last week's game was a big sign of that. I think there were some games we went into thinking that the quarterback was going to have to be the extra runner because of certain looks and that, and we found out that when we did, you know, between certain looks and formations, we were able to have a good solid run game with the backfield that was on the field, and it continued to do that. So we have to have you know, I believe we need to have a threat of a runner at the quarterback position. Now, what does that entail and how many times a game? That's a case by case type situation. But when we have threat of option or the quarterback being a running threat, as well as being able to execute a play action game and take some vertical shots, then we become a difficult offense to defend.
Lance, when you look at the portal coming in January, first day of class, between when the portal opens, getting kids on campus, I mean, this is going to be like a flurry. What's your thoughts on that window?
Flurry, I was thinking of some other words, to be honest, probably not. It's going to move fast, and there's a lot of things, and obviously there's so much to it behind the scenes that goes into this, between when guys are going in, getting them evaluated, trying to get them here to visit, trying to get a decision, get them to agree to all the other things they need to agree to come here, get them admitted into school, get them enrolled, get them housing, get all that going, and then it's gonna take a village, that's for sure, but we're no different than anybody else, so it's all what we're living into right now, and there'll always be conversations about when this window should be, what it should be like, but this is what we've agreed upon, and the one thing, once we do get this settled, we'll know who our football team is, earlier than we have in a long time.
With Keaton Snyder, he's a guy that you guys got on really early, started recruiting. I think he was 230 pounds at one point when you guys were recruiting. He played this year at around 300. What have you seen from him, from a growth standpoint, in addition to, just him growing?
Well, a guy, like you said, who's matured faster than what we anticipated to get to that body size that we need, but he's extremely athletic, and you see him and had a chance to go to one of his basketball practices once and to watch him fire up some threes and run the court, do those things, and what you'd love to see in offensive linemen that are athletic to do those things, and he's got a passion for the game. What's also nice is some of these guys now, like we said, we were able to get a lot of these guys here early, is to watch their personal maturity and having conversations and going through it, which is really gonna help them before they get on campus. I think some of the rules that have allowed us to have more of those things, getting guys here earlier, has allowed those relationships, conversations, and answering different things to make the student athlete more comfortable before they get here has been crucial. But there's a guy who won a state championship and everything, but we're so excited to have him because he's a really, really good football player.
And then 3 wide receivers in this class, 2 of them local, and Nate Sims and Tyron Parker, and then Corbin Glasgow from Dallas area.
Yeah.
What do you like from that group? Because it seems like you got 3 different types of guys in that group as well.
Yeah, Corbin, go for the furthest away is a guy with great speed, and had the track speed as we continue to try to become a faster team. I think Nate's kind of in between there. He still has solid track times. Unfortunately, got hurt and didn't get to finish his senior year. Tyron's got some of that length and big play ability about him. Confident receiver that that should be able to make impact here. We like all 3, and again, we're always trying to find all the different body types and things that fit our offense the best we can.
At running back with Corey,
Yep.
what did you guys like about him? What were some of the traits that you saw from him that made you feel like he was
Speed,
the one?
power, he shows flashes that make you miss. He's got good balance. Outstanding kid and family that we felt fit our culture the way we wanted, but a very talented guy that to get him out of the state of Michigan and things like that was big. Terry Samuel knew the family from his time at Michigan State, and really was instrumental in that, and Coach Wallace did a great job with him as well.
Just a few minutes ago, K-State announced that Coach Kleiman was retiring. I was just wondering your initial thoughts on that and his career and the prospect of having a new head coach in the state soon.
Yeah, that picked up, speed, I guess, last night, and we kept going. First of all, congratulate Chris on a great career and what he's done. I know sometimes, just especially being at rival schools, people don't understand sometimes the relationship part of that and competitiveness, but yet respect. Chris did call me this morning and to tell me he was doing that, and wished him and his wife Rhonda the best in retirement. And it's too bad. It's too bad because I think Chris has a lot of good football yet ahead of him. But when you feel like it's time and what the drain it takes on you personally, he just felt it was time. I'm not sure if they've named a coach yet or not. I think I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of great candidates, and And, you know, you know, anytime good people get out of this profession, you know, it's not good, but understandably so.
Anything else for Coach Leipold? All right.